complaints and our reservations up to this stage. Yesterday, just around this time, we picked information that the Electoral Commission was about to declare results when we were fully convinced that they didn't have any results to declare, that they were going to fabricate results and feed the nation to those fabrications. We put together a petition to the Commission expressing our reservations and asking them to call for a meeting at which we could all resolve the outstanding issues to pave way for the declaration of a result that will be acceptable to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, to our utter dismay, they refused our petition. In submitting the petition, we were emboldened by precedent, and the precedent was that was established in the 2008 elections, where NPP, dissatisfied with what results they thought were being collated, petitioned the Peace Council and petitioned the Electoral Commission, whereupon the leadership of the Peace Council brought all representatives of the political parties together, met with the Electoral Commission, and the outstanding issues were resolved, thus paving the way for a declaration of the 2008 results. So in petitioning to the Electoral Commission, we knew we were on firm grounds. We thought that it would be wise to address those issues before a fair declaration could be made. But as almost predictable, we were treated with contempt. The Commission proceeded to do a charade of a results declaration, which put Nana Akufo-Addo, which made Nana Akufo-Addo the president-elect in the 2020 elections. Not long after, we held a press conference to reject the results in its totality. I have come to confirm that we still stand by our original position, and that is to reject the presidential results as declared by the Electoral Commission yesterday. And indeed, immediately after our rejection, the Commission itself, for the first time in the history of this country, had to go back to recalculate the results, and have since brought figures to contradict their earlier declaration, which they claim to be the final declaration. So let's ask ourselves, of what value was either the initial declaration or the follow-up declaration? Which of the results should we place value on? The truth of the matter is that none of the two represent the reality. And we want to send notice to them that presidential election results are declared at the polling station, and the primary document is the pink sheet. And if they doubt our resolve, let them know that we have our pink sheets ready.
Thank you.
We are aware of efforts by the national security to belatedly go round to try and manufacture pink sheets to suit the answers that have already been given. Indeed, this is not my first time of saying that Electoral Commission always supplies answers before looking for a formula. That is what they have just done. They have announced the results, and by their own computations, you realize that the sum total of the figures they themselves have given are not consistent with the 100% they have indicated. And they mentioned one significant precedent which they failed to live by. He spoke about what happened in 2008 with respect to time. And to refresh your memories, ladies and gentlemen, what happened in time was that the results of time was still outstanding. I believe the second round of the election did not take place in time at all. And so when the results of all the other constituencies had been put together, NDC, which was in the lead at that time, demanded that the Electoral Commission declare the presidential election results. The response of the Commission at that time was that, since the number of registered voters in time was more than the difference in votes between the two parties, technically, if elections were held in time and 100% of the people vote one way or the other, it could affect the outcome of the elections. And because of that, they needed to go and do a rerun of time before elections results were declared. Yesterday, as at the time they were declaring, they themselves indicated that Techiman was outstanding. But they misled the nation into thinking that even if the total number of registered voters in Techiman were added to the tally with one party or the other, it could not affect the results. Ladies and gentlemen, go take the figures they themselves declared and add the total number of registered voters in Techiman, which is 128,000. When this is added to Electoral Commission's own tally, you realize that even if we are to believe their initial declaration, the figures will bring Nana Akufo-Addo below 50%. Yes. So, the Electoral Commission again has tried to pull wool over our eyes. Let them know that they would have to declare the real results of the 2020. Further details of the presidential tally will be announced subsequently by the incoming president, John Dramani Mahama. But at this stage, I'd like to turn my searchlight to the parliamentary election results. Ladies and gentlemen, we indicated to you yesterday that the Electoral Commission in cahoots with NPP, having discovered the unpleasant fact that NDC has captured 140 seats out of the 275 seats, was put in a very unpleasant situation. They had some two options, none of it was appealing to them. The first option was to declare faithfully that NDC had won 140 seats in Parliament, and to declare in the worst case scenario that there should be a runoff. They evaluated that option and realized that with NDC having majority in Parliament, any runoff will be like the 2008 runoff, where every Ghanaian will expect the new president to have a working majority in Parliament. So they ruled that out. Their next option, which they felt was feasible, was to use brute force to try and prevent the declaration of the results of some outstanding constituencies where their own coalitions indicated that NDC had won, and to try and force a declaration in places which they consider were also weak for them to be able to penetrate. Ladies and gentlemen, as of yesterday, we mentioned the case of Upper Denkyira West, where all the results had been collated. The district director and returning officer of the Electoral Commission was ready to do a declaration, and a sitting Minister of State invaded the town with armed men, some in military and some in police uniform, wearing thick beard. That was the first time we were discovering that Ghana police allowed copious beard wearing. Maybe my deputy can be the next IGP. So there was a standoff between ordinary citizens determined to protect their ballot, and the declaration could not take place. The armed men led by the minister was insisting that should the returning officer declare the results, he was going to die. And this was a declaration from the Minister of State. So, ladies and gentlemen, the returning officer had to be sneaked away from the constituency to Cape Coast, the regional capital, where there was a decision to bring the ballot papers and the results to Cape Coast for declaration. The good citizens of Upper Denkyira West resisted any movement by 1 inch of the electoral material. So they insisted on their grounds, and the stalemate remained till this morning. This afternoon, the Electoral Commission has eaten a humble pie. And as I speak to you, Upper Denkyira West has been declared as the In the following constituencies, Zabzugu, Techiman South, and Servioso, similar tasks managed to overpower the citizens who were determined to protect their votes, and some charade of a declaration has been made without collation. And ladies and gentlemen, the rules of our elections are very, very clear. To prevent any errant electoral officer from standing anywhere to declare anything from his head, the rules are clear that after close of poll, when the pink sheets are compiled, parties are called together at a collation center. So in fact, the law provides for collation agents of political parties who must sit together around the same table with the Electoral Commission returning officer. And the reason why parties are given copies of the pink sheet is that when you come to collation and the figures for any polling station are announced for collation, each party will refer to their copy of the pink sheet and to confirm that the sheet the commission official is reading from is indeed the genuine sheet that has been compiled and certified by all players at the polling station. This is done with respect to all the polling stations, because what happens at the collation center is an addition of results that have already been declared at the polling station. So nobody has the right or power to change anything. So all that you do by way of collation is to compare and confirm the figures, and then do the addition, and then everybody will accept the outcomes as the tally representing his or her political party. So without that important exercise of collation, any results that anybody pretends to announce would not be the results of the election that was conducted on December 7th. It will be a figment of their own imagination. And so, we are insisting that the returning officer for Zabzugu Tatale goes back to do the collation as properly required by law, and then NDC would accept whatever outcome that is arrived at. We are demanding, similarly, that the returning officer for Techiman South goes back to go through the important exercise of collation and confirmation of the polling station results, so that the totals can be acceptable by the political parties, including NDC. We are demanding that the returning officer for Servioso goes back to do the important exercise of collation before results could be announced. We are treading this path not oblivious of other legal options, but the important thing is that the courts in this country have established that the Electoral Commission cannot be stopped in the course of conducting their elections, not even by the court. And so we are still within the process of the elections, and we are demanding that the electoral officers do their duty to put this nation at ease. Because without a proper declaration, what are you taking to court to challenge? That is why we think that citizens must stand up and insist that the officers who are paid from our taxes actually do the work they are paid to do. And in the case of Savlugu, it went along the same path as Upper Denkyira West. I want to use this platform to congratulate the courageous citizens of Savlugu who stood their ground, defied the military might, and I'm told already one person has been shot dead. But they defied the odds, stood and protected their ballot. And again this afternoon, the will of the masses has eventually prevailed, and Savlugu constituency has been declared as won by the NDC. We are urging the people of Techiman South and Asiedu West to emulate the examples of Upper Denkyira West and Savlugu. They should stand firmly and protect their ballots. Already, 9 people have been gone down in Techiman South. 3 declared dead and 6 still in critical condition in the hospital. And again, bearded policemen have been set loose in the municipality of Techiman. They are roaming about, shooting sporadically and aimlessly, as if to declare Techiman municipality a war zone. We want to send strong signal to the government that these things cannot be happening on the blind side of Nana Akufo-Addo and his IGP. And let me tell you, yesterday, you know who called me? The Inspector General of Police, James Opongbuanu, called me. When I asked, why was he calling me? He said he was calling me because he has noticed that some people he claimed to be supporters of NDC have removed a barricade belonging to the Ghana police and have taken it to the NDC headquarters. And so he is calling me and insisting on the right of the police to enter our headquarters to retrieve a barricade, metal barricade. And I said, since this is not a video call, I don't believe that you are the Opongbuanu IGP you claim to be. Because I knew upon Boalun to be a professional security man, not the type of politician who is speaking to me. And that, since when did he discover that suddenly I am the General Secretary of NDC? When they were shooting 9 people in Techiman, who are our supporters, had he forgotten that I was the General Secretary of NDC? What has he done about it? Techiman Central. When all these things were happening, what was he doing? And I said, I don't believe that you are the IDP. You are sounding like a vigilante leader of a political party. And that we, the people of Brahafo, are ashamed of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because most of the killings are happening right in your backyard. And you have decided to abandon your profession as a security person. You have forgotten about the crown you are wearing. And you are confused about whether you should follow your conscience or follow your stomach. Never to call me again. I tried calling him back this morning when another death had occurred. I didn't pick. So, ladies and gentlemen, Techiman South should stand firm and protect their election results. And to put your hearts at ease, we have all the pink sheets. I am told that National Security has sent operatives to now go and try and manufacture pink sheets, bribe people to sign fake documents and so on. Tell them that we have all the material we need. And let them know the same way I went to Maine to retrieve all the personal records of the thief President Kufuor was trying to appoint as a minister before they got destroyed by NPP, and for which reason I was nicknamed General Mosquito. I've done it again, and we have all the things in Techiman. And I have with us here the MP elect for Techiman, and is Christopher Bayer. He has won the Techiman. And then we have our capable election director for Techiman South, Addo, otherwise called Bin Laden. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is a complete list of cases for after I take my seat, I'll call him to feed in on a few details. So, in Sydney West, at the time of the elections, some thugs from NPP invaded a polling station which is known to be the stronghold of NDC. Snatched the ballot box and were running away with it. This time round, the security people apprehended them and retrieved the ballot box with its contents intact. Unfortunately, they discovered that the NPP guys have themselves torn the NPP seal, but leaving the Electoral Commission seal, the official Electoral Commission seal, intact, and the NDC seal intact. Now, when it came to counting, the same NPP people who tried to steal the box in the first place now turn around to say that because the box, there was an attempt to steal the box and their seal had been broken, they are rejecting the votes in that stronghold of NDC. Meanwhile, the box was not open. The Electoral Commission seal remains intact and the NDC seal remains intact. So that also generated another standoff, and the box has since been brought to Techiman, the Bono East regional capital, under protection. And I want to congratulate our people in Asiedu West for their vigilance. They have slept at the armory where the box is being kept. And as I speak to you now, they are still there. Our insistence is that the box must be opened and counted, and the results added to the tally, and the results declared. President Mahama won in that constituency and won at that polling station. That is the reason why NPP suspects that our candidate has also won there, and they foolishly think that they can prevent that box from being counted. We are urging our people on to insist that their votes are counted. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we are. Asiedu West yet to be declared. Techiman yet to be declared. Zadrugu, Takwa, Saviyoso, a charade of declaration without collation, which amounts to nothing. So this is the update I have for you. But I have a small letter to the press too. I personally feel very disappointed. In your role so far played as members of the Fourth Estate. In Bada, when we were single-handedly facing armed military, it took a couple of press cameras to back me to ensure that the right things were done. How many press houses are showing what is happening in Techiman? How many press houses are showing what is happening in Asiedu West? Why have you stopped talking about Takwa, Zabzugu, Serioso, Ablekuma Central, Odododiodo, and the like? Do we still have the press we can be proud of in this country? Are you part of the problem or part of the solution? I am using your own media to call on Metro TV to come and tell us the source of the fake figures they were churning out. To come and tell us the source of the figures they were churning out. Which of their reporters took those figures from the field? I'm calling on TV3 to redeem their image. UTV, to redeem your image. Or posterity, if there is any blow up in this country, posterity will not forgive you. Ladies and gentlemen, bullets don't discriminate. I must repeat, bullets don't discriminate. So we are in this together. Let us fight to protect the democracy and prevent the country from blowing up because of somebody's greed for power and wealth.
Thank you.
Or we have ourselves to blame. I thank you very much and may God help.
Please can you stop the music? Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot one very important announcement. You see, the electorates show their lack of confidence in a particular government by the way they vote out the ministers in that government. This is a show of vote of no confidence in the Nketia government. Look at the list of key ministers who are falling. Professor Yanka, the minister for tertiary education and the leader for their flagship free SHS. It's gone. Alima Mahama, minister for local government, and was partly responsible for creation of new regions and making her hometown a regional capital. The people have voted against her. Professor Jambafo, the only representative of the Buzia faction in the Buzia Dankwa fraternity. The people of Wenchi have shown him the exit. I did mention some time ago that if Professor Buzia were to be alive, he would be a card-bearing NDC member. Because I'm from the same district. And I adored him. He was my father's classmate. Indeed, one of my kid brothers is called Yabuzia. It tells you how close your father was. Oh, wow. I am the General Secretary of NDC. Yes. And Buzia's district has since been divided into 3 districts. Tai, Banda, and Wenchi. NDC has won all 3 seats. And has won the polling station at Akrobi, which is the birthplace of Professor Buzia. They are telling the Dankwa fraternity that enough is enough. Fisheries Minister, Afolikwe, gone. Dr. Covid Okoboy, a beneficiary, not the dog factory alone, but the Nketia scandal. You remember he was listed as a beneficiary. Titus Grover. And the deputy minister of Defense, Major Derek Addo, the deputy minister of Pro East, who gave instructions to vigilante boys to shoot and kill if it became necessary during the registration. It's also gone. And the minister for Bono East of Atebubu fame, Sanja Nanja, has shown him the edges and his back. Honorable Penka, Deputy Attorney General, Penka, Deputy Attorney General, has been shown the exit by a widow. So there are several of them. Nafrongo, Medina, Adenta, and all that. I thought Wabian Samoa claimed that if you don't say, excuse my word, foolish things, you can't win elections in NPP. Indeed, he lost elections in NPP, or he won the primaries in NPP, but Ghanaians have indicated that they don't want foolish things to be said by the MP in Parliament. So it's also gone. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the fire is on. The flame that has been lit, Jordanda is also gone. Many of them. And indeed, Nana Akufo-Addo is gone. And so, I want to urge Ghanaians to stand up and defend this democracy. We have the duty. I'm calling on all of us politicians to also show that the nation can take us seriously, to do the right things. Otherwise, the nation will one day reserve the right to clear all the politicians as our history have shown, and other people will come with weapons. If we demonstrate that we politicians are more interested in weapons, those who are wielding weapons will take over and use the weapons.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the judges. Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge the presence of the national chairman of the NDC